UFC Vegas 72. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. Main event, Song Yadong versus Ricky Simón. We're going to talk about each of the matchups after seeing the fighters on the scales. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. Also note, Fight Companion for the UFC starts at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships has their biggest card ever going down. I'm going to be doing a Fight Companion for that main card, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's a special edition show because not only is it me giving you the Fight Companion, it's radio style because I got the audio rights from Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships. It's a one-of-a-kind Fight Companion that you do not want to miss. Looking forward to Saturday because we got some tremendous violence. But let's get into this UFC breakdown and let's start it off. First fight of the night, we got Hailey Cowan versus Jamey-Lyn Horth. Fight going down between these ladies, and I've been riding with the side of Jamey-Lyn Horth throughout the week. I do feel as though looking at this matchup here, she's got a good shot to control on the floor. I think she can be competitive or even better in the striking. And, you know, there's got to be some real concerns about Hailey Cowan having to cut weight multiple times and then missing weight here for this matchup. Not a good look, but when you're, scheduled to fight 2 times in the past 6 weeks, they don't happen, and you've been getting your body prepared. I feel like Hailey Cowan could potentially be overtrained. I think that her body can be overworked now, and she just struggled with a weight cut. I think she can gas out in the fight. I'm picking Jamey-Lyn Horth to win, and I'll tell you guys, we'll pull up the scales and check them out as well, and you guys are going to say, wow, Jamey-Lyn Horth and Hailey Cowan, it doesn't look like much of a size difference. Hailey Cowan, formerly a flyweight, former champion over at the LFA. Jamey-Lyn Horth, was it a year and 4 months ago? So it's been a while, but she's a champ over there at 125. Now fighting at 135 on weight. Her and Hailey Cowan, to me, there's no size difference. Hailey Cowan missing weight. Lyn Horth looked good on the scale. And then we got a face-off. Does Jamey-Lyn Horth not look bigger? She does look bigger. And I am concerned about Cowan's gas tank. And I feel like when you have a dangerous girl like Lyn Horth who's going to be relentless, potentially a submission win or an inside the distance call. But I don't know. I have this feeling that Jamey-Lyn Horth could potentially grab a sub. So looking at the betting lines, Hailey Cowan is the dog, and I think that makes a lot of sense, especially now missing weight, knowing of multiple weight cuts she's had recently, and then now fighting finally. Plus 135 range for Hailey Cowan, minus 157, minus 150 range for Lyn Horth. When I look towards the lines, I don't want to play an over. Jamey-Lyn Horth could potentially be a parlay piece. I will say after the weigh-ins, my confidence in her has jumped a good 20%. I thought it was competitive. I was in more that, 55, 60 zone. Now I'm in that like 75, 80 zone percent-wise of confidence. I really think that Lyn Horth has a fair shot to win, a real fair shot to win. I'm kind of thinking finish. Horth by sub, big plus money at plus 350. Something to note. I think Lyn Horth is a parlay addition potentially in a longer shot parlay. At the end of this, we will talk parlays as we always do. But I will tell you guys, I have more confidence in Lyn Horth. It seems like so does the public because she's really expanded as a favorite. And I feel like there's an optimal shot that she's getting the finish. Not a guarantee for a finish, but sub definitely I do believe is live here. I'm going to call Jamey-Lyn Horth to defeat Hailey Cowan and just continue this undefeated streak. She's a finisher. Knockouts and subs. So potentially inside the distance could be a play as well. Let me quickly look at that one just before we jump off. Lyn Horth to win inside of the distance. I got to find this one. Upwards of plus 185. I would rather sub-prop it for value, but yeah, as I said, parlay piece, Jamey-Lyn Horth. I'm picking her to win, and the confidence has rose after the weigh-ins. Let's continue on up the card. Next fight, we have Newson versus Marcus McGhee. Listen, Marcus McGhee came in on short notice. I talked about this fight last night on the Late Night Live for the very first time, and Marcus McGhee is a dangerous fighter. Striking, switches up his stances. I think Marcus McGhee is going to win. I'm picking him to pull this off. I know it's crazy. 3 days notice. Listen, I didn't pick Journey to beat Brian Kelleher. He's 34. He's outsized here. He's in a totally different matchup against a hungry guy who knows this is his shot. Huge Rocky-style opportunity. Also trains out of MMA Lab. Tremendous team over there. He's working with some high-level savages. Not saying that Journey Newson doesn't work with good fighters, but ultimately for a guy coming in on short notice, he's got to have some relatively high confidence. Let's jump towards the scales and give it a peek. And you guys are going to say, wow, this guy looked good on the scales too. Let's scroll down here. Look how shredded he looks. To come in on short notice, this is a fighter, Marcus McGhee, who stays ready at all times because he looks incredible on the scales. No problem at 140. Journey Newson doesn't look as good as him, and he had the full camp. I think Marcus McGhee's going to beat him a little bit taller. Journey Newson, I'm always worried about him getting knocked out. The chin maybe has to be in question a little bit. I'm going to call a Marcus McGhee upset knockout on 3 days' notice to come in here and do some work. And the lines aren't crazy wide. They ultimately are going to favor Journey. I mean, it's not any surprise there that they favor Journey Newson, but they're not crazy wide. Plus 145, plus 165. A guy coming in on 3 days' notice. Newsom's not even breaking 2-1 as a favorite. This is a sneaky underdog. I'm not going to tell you it's my highest confident underdog pick of all time. No, it's not. But I am going to pick the underdog here. I'm going to pick Marcus McGhee to win. I like the plus money. I think it could be a play. Throw something on it. You don't go crazy. But betting the plus money, your odds of success in the long run much higher. As opposed to if you're like, yo, well, I think I'm going to go for Journey Newson. Let's look at the prop. Knockout. I'm going to say knockout possible, plus 275. Not going to play it. Not going to play knockout. I am just going to touch the money line on the lighter side. I don't think you need to throw crazy and throw a half unit on it. Whatever money you feel comfortable throwing on a guy that's a little unproven. So a lighter touch. But I think this could be worth a lighter touch play here to get you some plus and pull off an upset. I think he's live. And I think, competitive fight. Marcus McGhee coming out of nowhere to take it. More difficult in the striking department than Brian Kelleher, in my opinion. I think the stance switches. I think he matches Journey Newsom's explosiveness and speed. I think he's going to end up knocking Journey out. So I'm going to go McGhee by KO, upset. Yeah, I'm a fucking wild man. Give me the plus money too. I don't think he's a bad underdog bet either. Just bet it intelligently. I'm curious what the people are picking. Close. This topology is close on it between these two savages. Marcus McGhee's good, guys. And he's finally getting his big chance. 5'8" to 5'5", 70-inch reach, 67.5. Some intangibles that I like too. 138.5 Journey Newson, 140 Marcus McGhee's coming in a little bigger. Give me Marcus McGhee underdog. Let's go. I like that play. Next fight. We got the ladies going after it. Stephanie Egger, Irina Alekseeva. I've been picking Stephanie Egger. I'm not overly impressed by Russian Ronda. And then Russian Ronda comes in, 4 pounds overweight for the fight? Comes in at 140 for a 135? Doesn't take it serious. Also is like excited that she missed weight. I think that Alekseeva is not all that great. I mean, you look, she recently, not super recently, 3 years ago, but this is, 2 fights ago? She's a loss to a fighter who's 8-6-2. Okay? Not a ton of pro experience, winning Bellator. Okay? Now you're fighting Stephanie Egger, who's been in the UFC doing a thing for a while. Quality enough competition. Jessica Rose Clark win. Bueno Silva loss, Eileen Perez win, beat Shayna Young. She's fighting UFC caliber fighters consistently and being competitive at the very least. She's also a judoka, both girls judokas. Give me Stephanie Egger to win. And to be honest, seeing Alekseeva come in overweight, and I don't like her look here. She looks a little bit out of shape. Let's pull this up a little closer. Look at the midsection. Look at the muscle tone. It's body fat. This, if she was shredded and she missed weight, I'd say, wow, she packed on a lot of mass. This is a hard weight cut. But she looks soft. Egger doesn't look soft. She's got some slight visible abdominal region there. She looks in pretty good shape. Also, the haircut for Alekseeva is not my favorite. I think she looked better with the Russian Ronda haircut, not the fucking fade, the faux hawk fade. I'm going to pick Stephanie Egger to win. Alekseeva missed weight by a lot. I don't feel the demeanor. I see her as a girl that doesn't have necessarily a UFC skill set. We'll find out, but I have not been impressed by what I've seen from her. She's a judoka, yes, but as is Egger. I'm going to say Stephanie Egger wins. How does she get it done? So Yes, there is a chance that she can get a finish potentially, especially Alekseeva coming in overweight. We don't know the shape that she's in. Is that a favorite bet for me? Not really. Around minus 305 for Egger, upwards of plus 260 for Alekseeva. I'm looking at something under 2.5 plus 1. I do think there's a fair shot that Egger could sub her. What's Egger by submission at? Plus 180, plus 200. I just ultimately don't really like a play here. I've said all week I don't. I think Stephanie Egger is going to win, but she's minus 300. I guess if you're looking to add extensions to your parlay, you want to bring more heat to it, maybe you add an Egger. Not something that's calling my name necessarily, but I do believe she's going to win the fight. I just don't like the betting odds of it. But maybe at the end we'll bring her up in the parlay section. Ultimately, I am fairly confident that Stephanie Egger beats Alekseeva, who came in overweight, who I don't think looks good on the scale at all. And ultimately, I question her skill set at a high level. So give me Egger, fair confidence pick to get it done and beat Alekseeva, and maybe a parlay piece of that minus 300 range. Maybe you're playing the over if you like it. Excuse me, the under rather, because it could go under for sure. Next fight on the card. Yo, this gets me excited. Cody Durden and Charles Johnson. These guys have been chirping back and forth on Twitter. They got animated at the face-offs. And what is Cody Durden? My underdog lock of the week. I love this fight. Cody Durden is my pick to win. I think that he's going to bring high pressure to Charles Johnson. I think he's going to land takedowns. I think he's going to be competitive in the striking. He's not going to allow Johnson to dictate the pace of the fight, which Johnson needs to do to win. He fights well from the kickboxing range and at a more controlled pace, whereas Durden can bring the fucking heat. Give me Cody Durden to pull off an upset here. I do believe it's a hard-fought decision, but I really feel like Durden's pulling this one out. We're riding with the Cody Durden side confidently. I think he's going to land takedowns. I think he's going to back Charles Johnson up. I think Johnson's going to be like, damn, Cody Durden's boxing is better than I thought. I think that on the inside, Durden's got the better striking, better punching for sure. Cody Durden's got a boxing and kickboxing background professionally. Don't doubt his stand-up. Just because he's a wrestler, don't doubt the stand-up. Cody Durden, underdog lock, confident. Now, I want to pull up the scales. We'll check things out. We'll see how they look on the scales here. There is Charles Johnson. Looks good as always. Good shape. I didn't doubt that he would. Cody Durden, good shape as well. Face off, little selfie, no handshake. Stare down, they're getting at each other, John. And it's a good one. This is a good face off. Good fight. Fun fight. I like this matchup a lot. But yeah, the pick in this fight is Cody Durden to win by a decision. Hard-fought battle. This could end up being the best fight of the night. This is like the sleeper fight of the night, in my honest opinion here, between these two. Cody Durden's got this thing, guys. I'm confident that he wins. Dog play for sure. Underdog lock, in my opinion. That's my call this week. Plus 120, Cody Durden. Upwards of plus 125. You'd be lucky if you find it there. Charles Johnson around minus 140 is the favorite. Kind of think this fight goes longer. The over 2.5 is there, minus 210, but I don't like the value at all. And then looking towards props, Durden wins by a decision. Plus 230. Inside distance is crazy at plus 650. It's not like Durden hasn't finished people before. But ultimately, I see Johnson with a very capable skill set and in bringing a heat, competitive fight. So Cody Durden, the money line dog attack is where my confidence will lie at its most high. Give me the money line. Give me Cody Durden to pull it off and beat Charles Johnson. And in my opinion, the prelim fight of the night at least. Sleeper fight of the night for sure. Awesome matchup. Durden, dog lock. Let's fucking go, guys. You know I'm excited for this one. Next fight on the card. Finishes out the prelims. This is the featured. Martin Buday versus Jake Collier. I've been picking Martin Buday to beat Jake Collier. I think that he's naturally the bigger human being. I do think his stand-up is fairly capable. I know he looked kind of shitty in the last fight with Dreshki, but it's not like he's got bad striking. He's got decent straights that land, pretty good hooks. Jake Collier's not an absolute dynamite striker. He's got, okay punching and kicks, but isn't somebody that you're like, wow, on the stand-up. Jake Collier is formerly a middleweight, and he was shredded at one point, whereas Buday's always been a chubbier guy. He's naturally the fatter, thicker, bigger individual, and I like that. I think Buday's going to get the win. Prop-wise, decision I'm thinking is going, but I don't know about that bet. Now, as far as the scales, I want to check the scales out. We'll see. Does anything shift here? I'll spoil it. It doesn't. There is Jake Collier looking thick as hell. There is Martin Buday looking thick as hell, but you get what I'm saying. He's like naturally that thick, chubby dude, whereas Jake Collier put a lot of excess fat on. Collier, for some reason, in this position, looks kind of like the young self, a little bit leaner. Buday's just wider. Look at the width. Look at the width of Buday from chest to back. It's way thicker. That's freakish, man. He's got like an odd build. I like the Buday side to win, guys. I'm picking Martin Buday to pull this one off. Yeah, I think he does this thing. Give me Buday by a decision. That's going to be my official call in this matchup here. Not my favorite bet. Not even close, actually, to my favorite bet. Minus 130 over at Bet Online. So, he's a fair favorite. Very slight, but fair. Plus 110, Jake Collier. Close money, though. They've shifted throughout the week. I think Buday wins it. Not my most confident pick, as I've said. Probably goes over, but I'm not playing the over. Buday wins by a decision. What is that line? Upwards of plus 300. The prop just doesn't call my name, but if I had to pick one, I probably think Buday wins by a decision, though he's got finishing ability. So potentially could pull it off against Collier, who just got stopped by Chris Barnett. Buday is a technical decision over Barnett, but ultimately had success against Chris Barnett, whereas Jake Collier lost to him. MMA math is bullshit. Not saying it works, but just something to mention. Picking the Buday side to win. If you have to play it, I think money line is better. I'm going to call Buday to win a decision, but ultimately you got thick boy heavyweights. Shit can go any which way. But give me Martin Buday, the natural heavyweight, to win the feature prelim. Let's jump to the main card. First fight on the main card is Josh Quinlan versus Trey Waters. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, Josh Quinlan is my pick, and I think he's knocking Trey Waters out. This is a fun fight. All week I've been picking Josh Quinlan. Trey Waters, mad respect for jumping in on Sunday, short notice, not even a week. And he just fought. 2 weeks ago? Week ago? Not long ago. Look at that. Last weekend he fought. He fought Jalen Fuller. He got touched a few times in that fight, but he got a nice knockout. Ultimately, Trey Waters is a good fighter, but he's going to get chinned here. Josh Quinlan's power is crazy. Trey Waters just took shots recently and also back-to-back weight cuts. For a guy at 6'5", to make 170 back-to-back is absolutely mind-boggling to me. So respect to him being on weight, first and foremost. I do want to check out the scales, give a look to these guys. Let's see how they're pulling up. There's Trey Waters, very thin. The thin neck concerns me. Tall guys. Historically, throughout MMA history, tall guys fighting at weight classes where they are the tallest, a lot of times the punch resistance is compromised, a la James Vick, Stefan Struve. Recently, we saw Sam Patterson with Yanal Ashmos. I think this could be one of those matchups. There's a couple, like a Jalen Turner who's an outlier, but he's a freak of freaks. I think Trey Waters, too, with the hands low style. Against a power puncher like Quinlan, you don't want those hands low, man. Quinlan touches that chin, he ends you. There's Josh Quinlan. And there's the face-off. The height doesn't look crazy substantial here. To be honest, Trey Waters looks more like 6'3.5", 6'4", not 6'5". But ultimately, listed at 6'5". He's a long guy. Definitely boxes well from the outside. He's a fun addition to the welterweight division. But this matchup here on a week's notice, after just fighting a week prior, I think he's in trouble. I think Josh Quinlan's putting him out. I'm going Josh Quinlan to win by knockout. I'm kind of thinking first round. I really am. I'm thinking he's going to get it done early, guys. Let's pull up the odds for this matchup. Josh Quinlan's been a confident pick for me throughout the week. Makes sense. Minus 175 range for Quinlan. Trey Waters sitting at around plus 150. I think under 1.5 is likely at minus 130. Super likely. Quinlan by KO, the official call. Only slight plus money, plus 105, plus 110. But ultimately, I like that plus side. So give me the plus money on that. I think Quinlan money line is a parlay piece. I do see him getting a KO. I guess I got to pull up the round prop. I'm not crazy about round prop and things, but I do want to see what Quinlan by first round KO looks like. Plus 225, plus 230. Parlay piece, money line, or knockout prop straight is way better than trying to snipe out a round. It's just, come on, bro. It's danger zone. We're betting on fights. That's, risky enough. Now we're going to add a round prop. If it was plus 400, I'd consider it. But it not being at that tag, I don't know. I guess you'd have to go first and second round for Quinlan. The second round is good. Plus 600 at Bet Online. But yeah, give me the knockout. I like the plus money. I like the KO. I like Josh Quinlan getting his hand raised. I am pretty confident that he's getting a KO win. I mean, he's a knockout artist. He's got a sub here, but majority of his wins, he's sleeping everybody. Brutal KO over Jason Witt in the last one. And I think he's putting Trey Waters out, who actually fought Bone Fiend, who's a straight killer on Contender Series. So glad he got his UFC chance. Ultimately, though, I don't think on short notice, back-to-back weight cuts, having a fight recently, and now fighting a powerhouse like Quinlan, it's a recipe for disaster. Quinlan by KO. Fun fight to start this main card. Next fight on the card. Where's Waldo? We got Waldo Cortes-Acosta versus Marcos Rogério de Lima Peizao. I'm picking Salsa Boy, Waldo Cortes-Acosta. I've been picking him all week long, and I've been excited to see how he looks on the scales. There's some relative concerns. Him on his back's a concern. Obviously, he showed some vulnerabilities to low kicks against Jared Vanderaa in that UFC debut. Definitely something De Lima can point out. You know, De Lima's a OG vet of the game and a skilled fighter. Ultimately, I think it's a competitive fight. Costa looks good on the scale. De Lima looks huge. Huge. And there's the face-off. Waldo's going to have a clear speed advantage, but strength is going to definitely favor De Lima. On the ground, it could be scary. De Lima, definitely with that Muay Thai style, there's a chance he's ripping low kicks. My brother actually told me he's picking De Lima to get the win, and he snipes out some crazy picks sometimes. And, you know, I'm picking the underdog and Waldo, and then he said that. I was like, oh, fuck, man, now you mess with my head. But ultimately, I'm riding with my pick. I'm riding with the side of where's Waldo to get the win as a dog. You know, I've been, I would say, fairly close on the confidence levels throughout the week, but it rose. Took Waldo a little higher. I still think it's a really competitive fight. The pick is Waldo. I think he wins a decision, but maybe he gets a TKO. He's got hands, and he could hurt De Lima, but ultimately De Lima is an extremely dangerous veteran of the game. This is not an easy fight for Waldo in his third UFC appearance. This is the best fighter he's ever fought in the UFC by a lot. Waldo's plus money, around plus 148, plus 160, and then De Lima at like minus 170 range. Let's see. De Lima. Let's see. What's De Lima by sub? Plus 500? I don't know why. I see if De Lima wins, I think sub is live, man. I know he's got KOs. Decision with Maurice Green, but he does have sub skills. Waldo by decision, plus 350. Waldo by KO, plus 250. If I'm playing, I'm playing Waldo, guys. I'm going to throw a little something on the dog. Give me dog money. Give me Waldo. I don't think you go ballistic with the play. Play it intelligently, ultimately. But I'd rather go straight money line plus money. I think Waldo probably wins a decision, but it's not like he doesn't have KO power. And if De Lima comes at him really trying to unload, Waldo's got professional boxing experience. He can box his ass off. He could definitely snipe out could snipe out De Lima. So I'm going to pick Cortes-Acosta. I'm going to say that he's getting it done. I will pick unanimous decision, but if you're betting it, you attack pure money line underdog Waldo Salsa Boy Cortes-Acosta. Where's Waldo? He's been a lock for me in the past, and I'm going to ride with my guy again here. I've picked him in every fight throughout his UFC run. Now I'm getting him at plus money. I couldn't pass at all, and I like him. I like his style, and I think he can win, and he's constantly improving too. So give me where's Waldo. Next fight on the card. This is a fun matchup. Julian Erosa, Fernando Padilla. I think these guys just equal violence when they face off. And I'm picking the Fernando Padilla side. Listen, Julian Erosa, historically, underperforms in certain matchups, and also certain frames give him problems. Padilla, taller, longer. Guys who have been taller and longer give Julian Erosa issues potentially on the feet, especially guys with some finishing ability, striking. Definitely Padilla. I'm going to call Padilla. Official pick has been KO throughout the entire week. Let's see. Does he get the knockout here? Let's pull up the scales. Let's check things out, and let's see if anything shifts. Ultimately, Padilla has been an underdog pick for me all week, and look how good he showed up. Shredded. This is a guy coming to fight. Mexican fighter, too. Whereas Erosa with those hands low just got knocked out by a high kick with Caceres. I like Padilla by KO, guys. Padilla inside distance, a good play, too. Erosa looks like he had a bit of a cut, but looks solid. Not as good as Padilla. There's the face-off. In some weird universe, these guys are like doppelgangers. You know what I'm saying? You got the white version and then the Mexican version. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying a little bit? Like similar features, similar frames, but give me Padilla to sleep him. I also like Padilla with his sneaky uppercut. He can sneak that in. 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu fighter. They got nasty ground skills, and Padilla is no exception to that. Padilla can grapple. He's got a lot of wins by submission. He's not just a striker. I like his stand-up a lot, but he can also grapple too. I think Julian Erosa's in trouble stylistically, man. Those hands low concern me. I know the head movement's good, but he definitely can get caught. Padilla plus money, plus 130 range. Give me Padilla, money line dog. Erosa minus 150. I've also talked about, though, with Padilla, I see a high possibility of a finish. I called knockout officially, which is plus 275, but ultimately at plus 200 for safety, I would rather go inside distance because Padilla potentially could club and sub. On the ground, he's got solid subs. I know Erosa's not an easy guy to bully on the floor by any means. Not saying he is. But to cover your ass, I think plus 200 Padilla inside distance could be a play for sure. Ultimately, I like the straight money line dog attack 2 of Padilla. Be intelligent when you bet on it. Don't go crazy. It's not the dog of the week, but it is a favorite underdog pick from the card. Give me Fernando Padilla to pull this one off. I think he's winning this thing. I really do. I'm going Padilla to pull this shit out. Give me Padilla win. I'm going to say KO, but ultimately inside distance I think is the better prop betting side as opposed to, playing Padilla just by knockout or just by submission. I'm picking him. Money line. That's where your safest plays at. And I think he's getting a finish. Fun fight, though. I'm telling you, this could be an awesome fight. Stylistically, I think it's a great matchup. I think you're going to be impressed by Padilla, guys. He's a good prospect. Featured bout of the night, we got Cody Brundage versus Rodolfo Vieira throwing down in the middleweight division. I've been picking Rodolfo Vieira all week. I have never been an overly confident Rodolfo Vieira backer. I'll tell you guys that. And on the opposite side, I've never been a significantly confident Cody Brundage backer. So one of those fights. Look at the height, 6 foot, 6 foot. Reach, about the same. Wrestling advantage, Brundage. Jiu-jitsu, Vieira. Boxing, who the fuck knows? Not much head movement from Vieira, but he is a fucking hard jabber. He's got some sting in his punches now, and he's got a chin on him. Cody Brundage, sneaky overhand punch, but he's not a great striker by any means. Let's look at the weigh-ins. Let's see the scales. Do things start to shift? Do we feel differently? Okay, I'll tell you this. I'm going to say this. This is the most alpha Cody Brundage I have ever fucking seen. Doesn't he look like a savage? Grew out the beard, got the earrings on. Man, Cody Brundage looks improved. I don't know how to describe it. He's got that it factor. Rodolfo Vieira looks typical. Rodolfo Vieira looks typical here. This is concerning, man. There's a face-off. This pick has been driving me fucking nuts all week. Because I've been picking Vieira, but you guys know the confidence isn't high, and the line is not great. I want to look at something here. I want to look at Cody Brundage, Factory X Muay Thai. Who's the main coach over there? Training with killers like Anthony Smith. Look at these guys he's working with. Raw Dog Royval. You know he's fucking bringing the heat. Versus Mr. Jiu-Jitsu Vieira. Brundage can stop the takedown. Like, if you look at common opponents, Nick Maximov, or not common opponents, but rather recent opponents, Nick Maximov lost. You see a win over Liga Mbula, a fight that was iffy, knocked out Trey, lost to Oleksiejczuk and looked bad in that fight, even though he landed down. Chris Curtis, better fighter. Stoltz Foos, iffy. Anthony Hernandez lost. Safareg win. Pietrota win. It's one of those fucking coin flips, dude. Like, I don't know how Vieira, everybody's picking him so confidently. I think Cody Brundage is a very live underdog here. I wouldn't touch the money line of Rodolfo Vieira. So if you told me, yo, AJ, you have to bet this fight, give me Brundage plus. So, like, I'm not going to flip the pick officially to Cody Brundage, but I'll tell you guys, depending on how I'm feeling on the night of the fight, so tomorrow, depending on how I'm feeling, I might snipe out a light play on Cody Brundage. I've been thinking about it all week. And I just think betting-wise, I'd rather go Brundage. Because, like, to me, my pick is like a 55 to 45 favoring Vieira. It's like ever so slight. Ever so slight. Like, I guess I can't give you, from what we've seen from Brundage, I can't say technically exactly how he could win aside from landing a big overhand shot. Does he just outstrike Vieira for 3 rounds? He's not a great striker. Does he out-wrestle him? He probably gets submitted. But could he pull it off? Yes. He could pull it off. So if I'm going to be betting this fight, I'd probably lean you to playing the plus money on Brundage. Or if you like Vieira to win, there is sub, but the line is shit. Minus 120. I don't know, man. I'm like sitting on this one. I've been thinking about this. Before I went, to do this show, I'm like, oof. This is one where, like, I'm craving to play the dog, Cody Brundage. This is like alpha Cody Brundage out here. But he definitely could get subbed. But he looks like a bad motherfucker. I think what I said is going to stand. Slight pick towards Vieira, but depending on how I'm feeling throughout the fight night, I think Cody Brundage could be a valuable underdog snipe. We'll see how we're doing earlier in the night. We'll base it upon those things. Maybe Cody Brundage gets a light play a little bit later on after Cody Durden does some work early and some of the other dogs, you know. But we'll go with Vieira. I have like a very 50. I'll be honest, in my gut right now, I feel like 50-50, but I don't want to go against my initial lean without feeling at least a slight favor towards Brundage. I don't want to just flip to the dog pick side. I still think it's an okay dog bet, though. There's nothing telling me that Brundage for sure is going to win, but he could. So dog play could be valuable. Give me Vieira. I do think he gets a submission, though. Official prediction. Slight confidence, ever so slight. Do not moneyline Vieira. If you are, you're crazy. Is going to be Vieira, and I'll call sub. But Brundage, valuable underdog here. Vieira doesn't have great head movement. Brundage has a decent overhand and definitely could hurt him. So the money line bet, if I'm betting this fight, which I'm definitely considering, give me the plus 190 on Cody Brundage. Let's get to the co-main event. Co-main event. Caio Borralho versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. I'm fairly confident in Borralho. I'd say he's one of the more confident favorite picks on the card. Line is shit, though. I've been picking Borralho throughout the week, and Michael Oleksiejczuk, I don't know how the fuck he was fighting at 205 because I'm about to bring up the scales, and I think he needs to hit a fucking arm day. I know that it's not bodybuilding, but holy shit. I think he's got to have the thinnest arms I've ever seen at 185. I think that he, build-wise, looks similar to Nate Diaz, and Nate Diaz historically fought at 55. This does not look like an 85er, and he fought at 205. And then you have his opponent, Caio Borralho, fucking built like a savage, jacked, shredded. This is grappling control, and this is why Oleksiejczuk struggles, because he does not have the grappling strength. Very heavy puncher, awesome boxing, southpaw stance, dangerous on the feet. Shit takedown defense, iffy submission defense, and he's fighting one of the best unranked grapplers in the middleweight division, period, right now. He's getting subbed. There's a face-off. Look at the arm. Just not much muscle tone on Oleksiejczuk, and he's down a weight. I think he can make 170. I think Michael Oleksiejczuk could make 170, and if he's not going to, he needs to gain 5 pounds of muscle. Because I actually think it's really hurting his ground skills. The striking is good. Doesn't need muscle for it, but it's not boxing. This is MMA. You need the fucking strength in the grappling, and putting on a bit of mass, I think, could actually be a valuable asset at 185 pounds, which is weird. You drop a weight class and you gain size. Give me Caio Borralho. I think he's going to control him when they get to the floor. I think it's one-sided on the mat, and I'm going to call Borralho to get the sub. This is the probably worst guy on the ground that he's faced. Obviously, Armin Petrosian's not a great grappler by any means either, and, you know, Borralho won that fight by a decision, so Borralho could definitely get it done in the scorecards. Borralho to win. So money line is ugly. It's hideous. I mean, it's minus 370. It sucks. You're not playing that money line. And if you are, all right, Drake, do whatever you want. Oleksiejczuk plus 295. I get it why people are on Oleksiejczuk. I know it's huge plus money, and he's a good fighter. I like Oleksiejczuk as far as an unranked guy at 185. But Borralho is a prospect like next up. I know that somehow Oleksiejczuk's been in the UFC longer. He's a vet, but he's younger than Borralho. I think Borralho wins. Parlay piece, though. More of a parlay piece. I think submission's likely because you see Oleksiejczuk does have a lot of submission losses. Borralho by sub, slight plus money at plus 125. Let's see. How many losses by sub does Oleksiejczuk have? I believe it's up there. 3. Yeah, 3 UFC submission losses. Names Jimmy Crute, OSP, and then outside of the UFC. So there are submission losses here, man. You know, solid wins. He's not a bad fighter. Beat Cody Brundage last time out. I like Oleksiejczuk a lot. He's one of my, you know, more favorite styles to watch. But then you match him up against a guy with A1 karate, also a southpaw, and is way better on the ground. Like, way fucking better. Like, levels to this shit. Borralho controls good grapplers. Muradov. Omar Gadziev. That's not easy to do. Caio Borralho's going to win the fight, guys. Probably submission. You could play the plus money at sub. It's not a great line, but it's playable. And I think he's probably getting a sub, even though Borralho hasn't shown finishing ability inside of his UFC career yet. Ultimately, Money line, minus 370 is not going to be a play for me, but I'm going to add Borralho into a parlay for certain as we get to that section. So let's keep on running and let's get to the main event of the evening. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel. Show some love. Song Yadong, Ricky Simón. The pick is Ricky Simón to win a decision, but I will say something, man. Song Yadong's dangerous as fuck. He's got awesome boxing. I was actually today, because obviously bare knuckles happening tomorrow, and Chad Mendes is fighting. I'm watching on Twitter. Song Yadong scrapping with Chad Mendes on the feet. His boxing is good as fuck. Like, he looks like a good boxer. Definitely has an advantage in boxing over Ricky Simón. But historically, Song Yadong, he's going to struggle a bit if you're mixing in a fuckload of takedowns. Chain wrestle, Ricky Simón. Pressure by Ricky Simón. Valuable asset, I do believe. Not my favorite bet on the card at all. Not even one that I want to touch. I don't want to touch this main event. This is a coin flip fight. I'm picking Ricky Simón, but I want to bring up the scales and check things out. And I would be lying to you if I'm not concerned that Ricky Simón might end up getting slept here. But look how jacked he is. This guy's in shape to wrestle for 25 minutes. And that's what I want from 48-47 decision, 49-46, right? 4 rounds to 1, 3 rounds to 2 type situation is what I'm kind of seeing. There's Song. He looks in great shape as well. Crazy power. Then there's the face-off. I don't know how the fuck Ricky Simón is 35. He's jacked. And listen, mullet gang. I got to rep with my guy. I got to rep with the mullet savage, Ricky Simón. I'm picking him to win a decision. But Song Yadong is no easy out. This is the toughest of customers. Oh my gosh. This is actually a dope fight. We probably look at this card as fans and are like, yo, this card's weak. But when you really dig into it, it's not weak. There's quality mixed martial arts action. Yes, it's not marquee name value, household names in every fight, but prospects on the come up, fun stylistic matchups, and a serious fight in the bantamweight division that has big implications, huge implications, because the winner of this fight puts themselves in a great spot, especially Simón, because he beat Merab. No matter how long ago it was, he beat Merab. That's a huge win to have. Let's look at the odds. Very close. Even line, essentially. Minus 121, Ricky Simón at BetOnline. Plus 101, Song Yadong. It's even. It's a pick'em's fight. And I'm picking Ricky Simón to win a hard-fought decision. I think it's going over 2.5 rounds. I don't have that available at BetOnline, unfortunately. But if you do have it available, I think over 2.5 rounds. Minus 155, it's available at some places. I like that. I like that over 2.5. I think it's going over 2.5. I'm going to say Simón wins by decision. Song by KO, plus 195. Interesting. He definitely's got the power to do it. 100%. But it's not like Ricky Simón has a questionable chin. Oh, but Uriah Faber knocked him out. Okay, go back and watch that Uriah Faber fight. In my opinion, I think Ricky Simón is recovering, but the ref jumped in a little early. He gave Uriah that big W. He jumped in a little soon. Great punch by Uriah that stunned Simón. Could Song land the same one? He could land it with way more force, way better than that. But ultimately, that's so fucking long ago. Simón has evolved vastly and is in the best shape ever. I'm going to say Ricky Simón wrestles all night, pressure, and his boxing's not bad either. Tough Mexican chin, tough Mexican boxing style, rips the body beautifully. He's definitely going to get outboxed if he just chooses to box by Song Yadong. But when you start mixing in takedowns, it changes the game. Ricky Simón should get his hand raised. I'll say he wins a unanimous decision. I'm sticking with my guns that I've been sticking with throughout the entire week, and that is Simón on the scorecards. Great main event. To be honest, super exciting card. Action throughout. I want to send you guys off, though, with a parlay. Let's make something happen. Let's make something rain over here, all right? This is the post-weigh-in parlay extraordinaire. I'm throwing a woman in it. I'm throwing a woman. This is risky territory, but I'm throwing a woman. I'm throwing Jamey-Lyn Horth, all right? I'm throwing Jamey-Lyn Horth in the lineup. Jamey-Lyn Horth, Cody Durden, okay? 2 quality plays. If you go by body language, how everything's looking, I think this is still quality, right? I want to add some more heat to it. I want to spice things up a little bit. Who do I add in? I got to go Josh Quinlan, my guy. Brings me almost to plus 500. Now, do we go value or do we go likelihood? First, I'm going to go likelihood. Plus 700. If you have Egger, Quinlan, Cody Durden, Jamey-Lyn Horth. Play this intelligently, but something to mention. I'm going to clear the slate and we're going to do another one. Okay? This one here, I'm going to shoot for a bit of, I don't know, sniping dog savagery. Absolute lunaticville. Maybe. Give me Cody Durden. Give me Marcus McGhee, plus 485. I'm going psycho with this one. With Borralho at the top, plus 641. Not saying to play that one. I don't like it, actually. I do it, and then I'm like, I don't know if I actually want to be attacking that one. I like the first one better. Now, earlier in the week, I talked about potentially playing Borralho and then lining him up with, Josh Quinlan, who's a confident pick that you can bring, plus 105, plus 106. I think this does come through ultimately. And if you put him with Dog of the Week, it's not a bad play for plus 365 here. 3 guys that I really do see winning. Do you add in Waldo? Maybe. Plus 1,000 if you do. You don't want Waldo, no problem. Let's go the under 2.5 here, because I think this fight's going under. If you don't want to pick a winner between Padilla and Erosa, I do definitely see a finish, plus 660. Even if you disagree with me on the pick and you don't want to touch the money line, plus 660. I think that's a good play. If you have Padilla money line, though, you get that big plus. But it's not about chasing the big plus money. I like dog money line plays way better. I like light parlays with high confident picks. But ultimately, this would be the heat. This would be the $100 parlay of the card. If I'm going to expand it, which I'm going to right now, I'm just going to go fucking ballistic with this shit. Egger, Lynn, Horth, Durden, Quinlan, Borralho, plus 930. Do I want to just go straight underdog with Padilla? Plus 2,000, but let's see what I get for just the under 2.5, which I think could happen. Plus 15. Oof. But then what if Padilla wins the decision? I'll be kicking myself. Leave that one out for now. Do we add in Cody Brundage just for shits and giggles? Plus 2,994. Holy fuck. You can definitely fuck around and go crazy with these parlays, but that's not the way to win. 2-3 fighters max for your optimal likelihood of success. And I am going to finish it out with just a straight bonkers dog assault. Cody Brundage, I'm going to match him up with Mr. Marcus McGhee and Durden real quick. Plus 16.65. Let's take McGhee out. Plus 575, though. If you had Brundage and Durden, that's huge plus money. Then if you brought in Mr. Dynamite Hands, you get plus 984. Egger, who looks more ready to fight. Lynn Horth, who looks more ready to fight. You get what's going on here. We're going fucking ballistic. Ultimately, that main event, I want to leave it out. I think it's a great fight. I'm going to sit back and enjoy. But Iho's a good piece potentially to have in your parlays. As I said, dog money with Brundage. You guys got the breakdown. You guys know what I'm thinking. Be cautious with your bets, man. Ultimately, play it smart. Think Lynn Horth wins. You could be in addition to a parlay. 2-3 fighters max for highest likelihood of success. Mix and match them. Don't just do 1 8-9 fight parlay and then say this is going to be my ride, and then one of them gets fucked up. Be intelligent with your bets, guys. All right? Ultimately, I'm here to give you guys the quality takes. I'm telling you what I'm thinking. But also, do a little research yourself. Don't just blindly tail. But this is what I feel. Much love to all you guys. So excited. Tomorrow's a dope show. We got UFC and then BKFC. And I got audio for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships. The only guy on the internet who's going to have that. So tune into that fight, companion. I'm bringing the absolute fire on Saturday. Much love to everybody watching. I hope you guys enjoyed another weigh-in recap show. It's been a blast. Much love to the people. Let me know. What are your picks in the comments? Throw your bets in there too. I'm curious if you guys are aligned with me or you're thinking some other things. Also, if you got nothing to say in those comments, a W in the chat to boost the algorithm for your boy. Much love, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace, everyone.